want to preface this by saying thank you to Darren Breen and Rebecca Staub for being our engines to make this work. And they're going to be providing most of the content today, and will also be available for questions afterwards. The other thing I just wanted to say is Rebecca's been doing a great job putting together a reference material kind of booklet for everybody, so that'll be provided afterwards as well. And the floor is yours, Rebecca.
Thank you, Kristen. Hello, this is Rebecca from the Lead Center speaking. Thank you for joining us today as we formally introduce you to the new Norcal websites. I'm sure I speak for a lot of us when I say we are excited to be in the final stages of this project. But I think we're even more excited to see how the new websites will help all of our centers excel in bringing in more clients and really just making it easier for everyone to utilize our services. I think in this day and age, especially now that, somehow we're in the year 2017, the importance of a website means a lot to companies. And I recently came across a statistic that said more than 75% of people admit they decide on a company's credibility based on its website design. So that's a lot. And before I pass it over to Darren Breen, our web designer, for a brief training on how to edit your website's content, I just wanted to go over some features of the new website and address some comments that a majority of you may have brought to my attention. And like Kristen said, we will have time for questions at the end. And then also, as Kristen mentioned, I created a very detailed step-by-step guide on how to edit the new sites. And I am anticipating that will be ready for you on Monday. And at that time, we should also have a setting that Darren will explain where you can request an account on the website. And so we will be able to get you set up with your accounts sometime on Monday. So each center, or can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, good. So each center's website is designed to maintain a cohesive branding for the network while highlighting each of your locations and the services you provide. We're using North Coast's website today as an example, but I don't know if you have seen the other ones. Here are some examples. As you can see, everyone has their own logo and location on it. There are visual aspects of it that make it very specific to your area. There are also these home slides that rotate every few seconds. And then everyone has your success stories and your events and workshops on the home page. Here's a few more examples. Yeah, so they're all unique. And I also wanted to address that the URL you see in the browser right now is just for developing purposes. And based on our timeline, once all of your specific edits have been made, the sites will go live around January 20th. And that is when the URLs will be changed to your current domain, which is yourcenter.org. So North Coast will say northcoastsbdc.org in the future. And so in order to maintain the uniqueness of what your center has to offer, you will be able to change these home slides. Right now, they're just set to defaults, kind of talking about a lot of things that we all offer. So you can keep them if you want, or you can change them. So like I said earlier, the homepage also features your own success stories and their images and your own events and workshops. But in keeping with a brand and a website that makes it easiest for users all over our area, the features that are to remain include this What We Do area and the Apply Now bar. The tabs up here should also stay where they are, and they are the same on every single website. However, we are aware that some centers offer varying resources, and we are more than willing to help you create new tabs to accommodate some of these aspects. So if you come across anything like this, just please contact me and we will work with you to help implement them. Another thing I want to mention is the calendar page where the events are is now set up to only show your center's events. Darren will go over this in a moment, but the events and workshops that appear in the calendar are not pulling from anywhere like Neosera. They appear when they are uploaded by yourself. And there is a spot when you are adding events and workshops for you to insert a registration link, and that should be a URL to either Neosera or Eventbrite or wherever your center collects event registrations. I have been spending time uploading your events from your current websites as they come in. So by the time the websites are live, they should be up to date with your upcoming events. And another feature that is implemented is that the apply block appears on every page down here in red at the bottom. And that just makes the call to action of applying to your center an always obvious and constant option. And if you've noticed, there's also the option to change the language on your web page, which is awesome. So overall, the websites are designed to make the user, as we say, think as less as possible, and to make sure your center strengths are highlighted through visual impact and easy navigation. And I just wanted to reiterate that we are more than willing to add new pages depending on your center's needs. And I am very grateful for all of your insightful feedback throughout this process. And now I'm going to pass it over for Darren for a brief training on how you can customize your site's content to best suit what you want it to say.
Okay. Excellent introduction, Rebecca. Let's see. So I guess let's just start off with logging in. I will go to, in this case, as Rebecca said, this URL is a temporary development URL. But this address relative to the URL will remain the same. It's /user. This gets me to the login screen. It will, and this is also where you will go. I just realized it's not there now, but you will see a third button that says request account. After we hang up, I'll go ahead and activate that. I deactivate it because you can get some spam that way. So this is where you log in, but ultimately too, in the short term, this is where you can apply for an account, and then we'll go ahead and approve the account and assign the domain to which it belongs. So I will log in with my account here. Okay, let me switch accounts to one that has the same permissions that yours will. And you'll notice that the toolbar, so now we're logged in. So you see there's a black toolbar up top. It's telling me I'm logged in, but it's also telling me, so let's go back to the home page. All right. So it's pretty straightforward. I mean, as Rebecca said, it's adding pages and whatnot is probably best done through the lead center. So what is there is fairly straightforward. So under content, you'll see if I scroll over that, I have add content. Here's my choices of what I can add. I can add a person, that's what that means. A client story, a calendar item, events and workshops, or a news or announcement. This is, ignore that, that's residual. I can also, as I'm going through, let's jump to a page here. So
Sorry.
Yeah.
Can I interrupt for 1 second?
Of course.
Sorry. Could you possibly make your screen a little bit bigger so we can actually see the, like, for some reason how it's showing up on my computer, it's really tiny, those words. Thanks.
What is that better?
I can't tell until you go and look. It's still really tiny, but I'll you know, we could see when you start scrolling down. Sorry, I wish I was trying to do it and I realized it's your screen. I can't do it.
Did this help at all?
What if you just bump your resolution
yeah.
up, Rebecca?
Just the bar at the top that you're talking about is really hard to read. I'm having a hard time reading it.
Okay. What if you just bumped on your... Yeah,
that's better. That's better. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no, please. I mean, if anybody, if I'm going too fast or if I'm skipping over, I mean, it's all sort of second nature to me, but if it's not, feel free to interrupt me, by all means.
Okay, thank you.
So I guess this is the black bar that you were having, and you can see here sort of is your options of what you can do within the admin once you're logged in. I mean, this just means go to home. This is how you basically are going to add content. And you can see your content types there that are available to you. So as far as editing existing pages, I went out to this About Us page. And you'll see here when you're logged in, there's an edit option that I can bring up that will open a window that looks like this, that basically has a toolbar somewhat similar with basic functionality of something like Word. I can retype, I could bold, italicize, etc. I can make a link. So it's got a basic tool. I mean, one thing that is nice to know what it is in this. What's that? We lose somebody?
We're all here.
Okay. There's a little thing over here that's a remove format. One of the things you'll find that sort of can be a nuisance is copying and pasting from Word and from email, etc. Sometimes you'll get a little bit of stowaway format within that's hidden in the HTML. So you'll paste something and all of a sudden it'll be in Times New Roman or it'll be blue or something. Hit that remove format and it'll get rid of that. So here's how this page is. Here's that introductory text. Here is in this case, here are all of those little the things that are underneath it for basically. So that's all editable. And then scrolling down, so that's the makeup of the text of the content of the page. I mean, I could go out to a simpler page. This has a little bit more because it does have, let's close this. Oops, I can't get to it. Can I? Oh, there we go. There we go. So I'll close that out. See, I go around. Something like this. It's a little simpler page. It doesn't have those bullet points below. There it is. That's the content of the page. You'll notice a link's been created here, which is pretty easy. I could just go up here. I just don't want a link there. Click that little link icon. It'll show me how to create a link. So that's how the basic static pages are edited. Again, as you go through, you'll see there's an edit. What doesn't have an edit or doesn't have a yes, it doesn't have an edit are these things that are more dynamic pages that are made up of pieces of content that are being aggregated there, such as the calendar, What else is a dynamic page in this? The news and announcements, the FAQs for that matter. So as far as how to add those, if I go up here, click add content, this is, again, it'll bring up a form very similar to the page. In this case, this is the form specific to a news post. If I click on that field, I'll just put one up right now.
You know that in Las Vegas.
Story. I don't want what this promote to homepage banner means is, does it go on the homepage? I'll put no. Is there a featured image with the story? No. I'll leave that blank. And I'll just type in news post text here. And I'll click save. And if I go out, so there is the news post. And if I go to news and announcements, now it's at the top of it's the most recent. So it's at the top of the stack of news and announcements. And, very similar process to add, almost exactly the same to add a calendar event. So if I go events and workshops, what it is, new event. There's the registration link Rebecca had mentioned earlier. So that's where you would paste to Eventbrite or your Neosera to where the page where they're actually going to be doing the registration. Here again is another body copy field, for event details. Details here. What dates does it happen? Let's make it next Friday, the 13th, I guess. Friday the 13th. And I could change this. This isn't 24-hour times, and I could change that. Not letting me change the thing. If that's a screen sharing thing. Well, I'll just leave the time how it is. Location name. This will give you the little Google map. Event contact price. And you can include an image with it. If I hit save. Now, if I go calendar, so you'll see here's the detail page. If I go to calendar, because it has it's the second one down because obviously it's showing me the dates from here forward. So there's actually a sooner date. So there's the one I just put in the calendar. There it is. So that's how adding content works, basically. And you can see that when you add a piece of content, the fields tend to be specific to that piece of content. Title, I guess, is fairly universal across them all, but here this has two fields, one for the testimonial and one for the detail of the story. This is where you add an image, and I should go through, I'll try and do this, it's dawning me now, I'll go through and put minimum size, I'll put a little note down here on minimum pixel dimensions that the photo should be, just so, you're not putting a really small picture there. But again, as I scroll down, you'll see the fields are specific to that content type, and they all, have a place where they go inside of the template. So it's all pre-formatted. You don't have to worry about it. You just fill it in and hit save, and everything should go to where it needs to go. As far as I guess that's a quick run through basically all of the content. Right? Trying to open all of them. That's the only one we haven't hit is this. You know, this is for a person. And now we've replaced the title code with their name, their position, basically their title. Oh, did I lose my...
Oh, sorry.
There's a lot of feedback.
Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to mute that.
That's not, is that for me?
No, I don't think so. Okay.
Well, every time you were speaking for me, it sounded like a huge echo, like you were in a tunnel.
Oh, really? Is that for me, I wonder?
Now it's fine.
Huh.
Okay.
Okay.
Aaron, you should have control.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, looks like. So anyway, I mean, here's the content. You know, here's how to add a new person to it. You know, and this helps control where it goes. What is this person? Here's their bio. You know, their name, their headshot, and you know, you can see where these types of things are used. Our team. So there's the end result of one of those being created. And in this case, I have tried to put, for the folks that are already there, a little shortcut edit button here. So that you can see the pages that are made up of multiple things. I've tried to include a little helper here because this page is that, if I click edit, I'm just going to get that introductory paragraph. And the lower part of this page, because it's to control the formatting, is pulling from other bits of little pieces, much like the calendar or the news story. So if I wanted to edit her bio, I would click on the little edit I put there, and that'll bring her up. Only why am I not seeing the photo? That's interesting. Well, I'll have to look into that. But yeah, so that's how that works. Again, this concept of some of the stuff is, some of these pages are made up of dynamic parts in addition to just the static part. Reason being, it's formatting is easier to control. But I think once you start poking around on it, I think it should be pretty straightforward, hopefully. I'm trying to think I guess that's close. Can you think of anything I'm overlooking so far, Rebecca, in your editing of it?
No, I just want to reiterate that all of this is on the guide.
Okay, good.
Like really simple, step-by-step for everything. And yeah. Yeah,
I mean, has there been anything that you've been working within these same frameworks for a bit now? Is there anything that that you struggled with at first, or that didn't make sense that I might have skipped over here?
No, I don't think so. I think some easy thing to remember is the text boxes where you edit content are set up to look the way you want it. So if there's bullet points, you know, there's an option to use bullet points and things like that. So it'll look really well with the whole layout when you utilize it. So
true. And those text boxes ultimately too, I've limited, or the amount of tools are there so that they'll keep consistency. You know, there aren't necessarily tools in there to redo font sizes and whatnot, and or to change font colors or background colors or whatnot, so that, you know, it'll have a nice consistent look and line spacing and whatnot from page to page, and type treatment from page to page. But there is a fairly, you know, robust tool set within that. some of these you may very well, I mean, like I can view the HTML source. I mean, that probably doesn't mean that much to a lot of you, but so there are some tools in here that ultimately probably will never be used, but they are there, and certainly there are more that could, I guess, be added if need be. But I think that should get you through. Oh, and I guess I should cover this too. There is the ability, to put in, say if part of the tool set is things like different formatting besides paragraph formatting. So there I've just assigned this to be a subhead. If I hit save, now you'll see there's a subhead. So it's pretty, I think it should be, I mean, and that shouldn't be, again, much different than your standard Word or word process, the tool set that's sort of available. It should work, hopefully, just about the same. But again, yeah, one thing to keep an eye out for is maybe to make sure some of that stowaway formatting doesn't come along with you, because that can, oops, now see, now I messed it up. But I will use.
Darren, this is Anne. When you get a chance, I have a question.
Okay. Let me just change this back to a paragraph instead of the subhead. There we go. Okay, shoot.
If a center has a YouTube video or something along those lines that they want to post on their page, can they put that on like the news and announcements page and just include a link to the YouTube video and a widget will be pulled up? Or is that not an option, or is there some other way to do it?
There's a couple different ways. I mean, I could include the ability to, yeah, certainly, linking out to it obviously that's easy, and that you could do that right now. I could include the ability to, there is a filtration system. This actually will filter out some things, and I could expand the filter so that, let me switch back to my account. Switch back.
Sorry, I just know something like this will come up for
that's perfect.
Listeners.
So if I switch, you'll notice I have a lot more stuff. So do I have so I am allowing an iframe to go through. So if you did use the YouTube, just the embed, that should go through. I could also put a little helper field or what's called a helper filter. But you'll see here, these are the HTML tags that are allowed to go through, and basically what YouTube uses is what's called an iframe. So I am allowing that to pass through the filtering system. So that you should be able to just grab that embed in YouTube and use it. If you need it, if that's difficult, we can test that and make sure that I have it right, because I don't know if we've done that yet, Rebecca. Have we?
Yeah, if I may, we definitely have, and I think we set it up so in this text box, one option of embedding is if you click on the little film guy.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, you already embedded that for
You're
us.
right. Yes. Okay. Yes. So it's actually easier than I was just describing. So yeah.
So all you would do is grab the embed code from YouTube and paste it in there.
Perfect. That's what I was looking for. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it should be straightforward. And if you try, let me know. If it's not, let me know and I'll help you.
So I guess we could continue on with questions if anyone has any.
This is Miriam. I have a question. Are you able to change the photos behind the like about us or the services or whatever? Or is that set?
Yes, you can. I think I would have to check with Kristen. If you're still here, Kristen.
Yep, I'm here.
To see if that is something possible for every center.
Yeah, I think there were a few that we wanted to keep standardized, but if there are ones that, Miriam, if there's ones that you want to change, why don't you just contact us and we'll talk about setting it up so everybody can change it.
Okay, thank you. Hi, this is Carrie. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. I came in late, so I don't know if this was already covered, but I just want to know that these are going to be compatible to work with mobile devices, correct?
Yes. I can't do it. Can I do that, Rebecca? Can you? Well, I guess I'm controlling your screen. Can you grab the corner and drag it in?
Oh,
and
sure. Yeah. Hold
show
on.
what it looks like as you go down in screen size?
Yeah, of course. And let me reset it. Okay.
I mean, of course, this is sort of approximate, but and then there is still a little bit of fine
Let me
tuning.
go to the home page. This is kind of what it looks like on a mobile. But yes, it is mobile friendly.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yes, it's done in what's called a responsive layout. So basically, there's breakpoints for different screen sizes, whether they're tablet or mobile or desktop. But yeah, and there's still maybe I want to do a little bit more testing on that before we go, but they're 99% there as far as multi-device support.
So Darren, if people go to their development site address on their mobile phone, they should be able to see that at this point?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes. Yeah, well, definitely. I mean, it is, they are there, you know, whether it's tablet or mobile or, you know, desktop.
Other questions people have? Well, hopefully everybody's quiet because they're interested in getting in there and playing with it. And anything else, Rebecca, Darren, that you wanted to say?
I would just say I will be reaching out with an email with the guideline and just detailed instructions on how to request an account.
Yeah, the guide seemed really thorough to me and very easy to use. So I still want to look over just a little bit more, but I mean, it seemed like everything was there. So yeah, I imagine that any questions will be answered in that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you guys, and thank you to everybody. And the recording will be available too. So Rebecca, maybe you can send that as a link for people when you send out your information so if anybody missed this recording, they can take a listen and a look.
Okay, definitely.
That's already sent out. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.